Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well. I haven't posted on here in like 6 months near enough. I think the last time I posted was October last year, so it's been 5 months, nearly 6 months. But I am back and I thought I would review 2025 book releases. The first few months of this year, I feel like there's always so many new book releases. There's going to be a lot in April as well, which I'm so excited about. I haven't read as much this year as I did last year. Like at the beginning of last year, I was averaging reading about like 20 books a month for the first few months. I don't know how I did that, and then in the first like 2.5 months I've read like 20 books in total, which is still a lot of books, and majority of them are actually new book releases that I have read. So I thought I'd just sit down, talk about all the new releases that I've read and let you guys know if they are worth it or not, in my personal opinion. If this is the first time the kids on my videos interested in book content like this, I'm saying that, but I haven't posted in like 5 months, but I'm back and I'm going to film quite a lot of book content as well as like reading vlogs, lifestyle videos and all that type of thing. So if that's your type of content to watch, then please hit the subscribe button, like this video, and yeah, let's get straight into the video. I'm going to try to do these books in order of when they actually release. So we first will have Beg, Borrow, Steal by Sarah Adams. This is the third book in the, what series is it called? It's actually called the When in Rome series. Does it have a name, this series? Let's just call it the When in Rome series. So I didn't even read When in Rome, but I read the second book, Practice Makes Perfect, and this one is the third book. There's going to be one more book after this, which I'm very excited for that one to come out. But this one is about Emily and Jack. So Emily is the oldest sister, so she's not the oldest sibling, she has an older brother who is the MMC in the first book, but she is the oldest sister out of 3 sisters. Her and Jack, the MMC, they've known each other since college, and they've always had this like rivalry between each other. They've always kind of like acted like they hated each other. They actually end up working in the same school together, but then Jack goes away to get married. He comes back because he didn't actually end up getting married, and they end up being next door neighbours because Jack buys a place next door to Emily. The more time they spend together, they realise that they actually have more in common and they can understand each other. I really love this book. I didn't expect to love this book as much as I did. I'm not really someone who reads a lot of like cute rom-com-y type books, but I like that this book had depth. I love the guy falls first trope, okay? If you're going to say girl falls first, guy falls harder trope, or the guy falls first, guy falls harder trope, I will always pick the guy falls first, guy falls harder trope. It always hits different. I really like Jack as an MMC. He was such a lover boy, such a sweet MMC. Emily, she's more of like a ice queen type of grumpy FMC, which is my favourite FMCs to read about. So I really love this. I loved seeing the previous characters. You have like sibling dynamics. The actual setting of this book and this series has been really fun to read, and as I said, I'm very excited for the next one to come out. So this one, 4.25 star, really enjoyed it. Definitely recommend it as well. Like, it's such a quick and easy read, and I just had a very fun time with this book. Then we have the book that everyone was talking about in January, and it is Onyx Dawn by Rebecca Yarros. This is the third book in the, is it Empyrean? Is that how you say it? The Empyrean series. So you have Fourth Wing, which got so popular on BookTok, probably like the most hyped up book on BookTok, I would say, along with like Icebreaker and stuff. That's the second book. Iron Flame, yeah, that came out at the end of 2023, so we waited just over a year for the next book, and I was very excited for this book because how Iron Flame ended off, even though Iron Flame wasn't my favourite book that I've read, it did bore me and confuse me at times. Due to how that book ended, I was very excited to go into this book, and then before I read it, I heard so many people say that they absolutely loved it, so I was like, you know what, I've got high expectations for this book. This book was another Iron Flame for me. I will say that Fourth Wing is still my favourite book in this series. I don't really think I have to say what this whole series is about. It is fantasy, there's dragons, there's a romance, found family, set in like a college type of setting. It's like, is it called the Basgiath College, whatever it's called. This one I can't say what this book is specifically about because it'll give spoilers for the second book, but due to how the second book ended, I thought that would be like a massive plot point in this book, and I really didn't think it was. I also felt like not a lot happened in this book. There was a lot of like travelling and adventures, but then the adventures didn't lead to anything. I was always kind of waiting for something to happen, but then the ending of this book, how did it end again? Oh yeah, the ending pissed me off. The ending really did annoy me. I was like, okay, like we didn't get any answers for the thing that actually happened at the end of book 2, which I said I thought would be a massive part in this book. One thing I will say though, the consolation of this book is we got so much more of Riddick, or Riddick, however you say his name. I love him. Like, I know so many people are Azaid girly, but I choose to go into Renegade Best Friend. This one I think I gave like a, did I say 3.75 on Goodreads? I can't even remember. I gave this book, where is she? I gave it a 3.75. So I put, what was that ending? I'm so confused. Oh, I was confused. I read over 500 pages for the book to end like that. Love my man Riddick though. That's all I had to say. So yeah, I gave it a 3.75, but kind of think about it, it might be a 3.5, but I'll stick for a 3.75 because I put that after I read it. So yeah, I do just think this was like 600 pages of not a lot. The next book we have is Out of the Woods by Hannah Bonham Young. This is a book that I was honestly so excited about because if you know me, you know I loved Out on a Limb. Like, that book was one of my favourite reads of 2023. It's a comfort book for me. This is about Sarah and Caleb. So Sarah is best friends with Wyn from Out on a Limb, and it is their story. So this one's like it's not a marriage and crisis trope, it's more like a marriage with problems, even though I didn't really think they had a lot of problems. You know, from Out on a Limb, Sarah's mother died years ago and she was so close with her mother. Her and Caleb have been together since they were so young and they've always kind of just been with each other, and that is that. But Sarah feels like she wants to be more independent. She doesn't know if she feels like she got married too young or whatnot, and they end up going on at this retreat for a week to kind of sort out their problems. But as I said before, I didn't really think Sarah and Caleb had problems. I didn't even think they sorted the problems out properly. So that's why I gave this book a 3.5. I was expecting so much because I loved the first book. I didn't connect to the characters in this book. I loved them more in Out on a Limb than I did in their own story. I like the treat setting. I thought the side characters I introduced to were really fun, and when reading this book they did feel like real people. I gave it 3.5, which was really disappointing because, as I said, I thought I was going to love this one. Then we have Spiral by Bella Cabra. This is the second book in the series after Collide. This one's set a year or so later. So Collide is like a college romance. This is in the NHL, so I think it is a year later. And this one is Elias's book with Sage. So this one is a fake dating romance where Elias, he has been getting like bad press from the media where he's like sleeping around even though he's not. He's having this girl who's like low-key stalking him, not even low-key, who is stalking him. Sage, she has practically raised her younger brother herself. Her parents are not in her life at all, and her uncle has been like a parental figure, but Sage is like very independent and she likes to kind of fix problems herself. She is an aspiring ballerina, but then she's not getting these jobs that she wants because she's not in the media's eye, hasn't got as much of a following as other ballerinas. So it ends up being a fake dating romance. Also, Elias is struggling in the NHL, like he's a rookie, but he hasn't scored yet, so he's kind of worried that he's going to be like taken off the team and stuff. This book I really did enjoy. I feel like the fake dating relationship, when they were still fake dating, they were practically together. Like, they were sharing the same bed and they end up like living together as well, so it's like forced proximity. So throughout this book I was like, you guys are together without them saying their feelings for each other, and I kind of wanted them to say their feelings to each other like sooner, because I was like, you guys like each other. You guys are practically together. You're sharing the same bed at this point. You do get some cameos from the characters in Collide, as well as a couple of guy characters who are going to have their own stories as well. So I really enjoyed this. I thought this was just like a quick and easy fun romance. I gave it a 4-star. I really enjoyed the romance with this one, and you could tell that the characters like genuinely cared for each other and loved each other. So 4-star. Really enjoyed this one. And then we have Deep End by Ali Hazelwood, which is a book that I feel like got a bit of controversy due to the spice in this book, which this book was advertised as a spicy book, and even in like the dedication, like you can tell this is a spicy book. This one was actually called Wet. The original name for it was Wet, but they just changed it to Deep End. I don't know why she changed it, because Wet's a great name, but this one follows Scarlett and Lucas. Scarlett is a diver and Lucas is a like Olympic champion swimmer, so it's like a diver swimmer, which is a relationship dynamic that I've like never read about in a book. Scarlett's a very interesting character to read about. She's like no other female character that I have read about, but she also felt quite realistic to read as well. Lucas, at the start of this book, is dating Pen, who is Scarlett's friend, but then Lucas and Pen break up, and Pen says, why don't you two like sleep together, because they both have the same kinks, which this book does go into kinks. Is very much like BDSM type of thing. I thought it was a bit weird anyway, like why would you tell one of your best friends to sleep with your ex-boyfriend? A bit weird in my opinion anyway. So they end up having this like no strings attached relationship, which leads to more, but then both characters feel like they just have to stay in this no strings attached situation because of Pen and because of this type of dynamic that they have with each other. I can't remember much that happened in this book, really. All I remember is that Pen annoyed me and it was quite spicy. There was not really a lot of plot to this book. What did I give it? I gave it a 3.75. Yeah, because I liked how it was like completely different than anything that Ali Hazelwood has like written before, and a lot of her books are STEM. This book does have a bit of STEM as well, because both characters are doing something to do with science and college anyway. I just thought it was like a fun, quick read. We've got 2 more books to talk about. We then have The Charlie Method by Elle Kennedy. This is the 3rd and final book in the Campus Diaries series. So this one is MFM. And now, when I knew that Beckett and Will was going to have their own story, I genuinely thought the book was going to be MMF, and I feel like it made sense for it to be MMF because I thought Beckett and Will had too much sexual chemistry, because you find out that they do have a lot of threesomes. But then this book ended up being MFM. Charlie the FMC, she was adopted when she was a baby. She's wanting to find out about her birth parents and her family and know more about her roots. She is living like 2 type of lives. She's quite like a sexually confident FMC, which I do like, but then she's also this sorority girl. She feels like everything has to be perfect in her life as well. And then you have Will and Beckett, who are the 2 other guys in the hockey team. Every single book is a hockey romance, and you know, I said that they're having threesomes in the other books. They end up like matching on this website, kind of like Tinder. At the start they don't know who each other is, but then Charlie figures out that it is Will and Beckett that she's talking to, and she has classes like with both of them, but she doesn't really get along with them too much, but then she's also attracted towards them. I gave this one a 3.5 star. I really enjoyed the first half, but I felt like the second half dragged. My problem with this book was, first of all, it should have been MMF. Second of all, I felt like this book was heavily focused on Beckett and Charlie together. And I've seen people say this, that they felt like Will was a bit like a third wheel to them, which I did get myself. I did still enjoy it. I had a fun time with it. The spice was great. I just feel like MMF might have been better for this story. And then from reading this, it seems like there's going to be a new series, and Blake, who is Logan and Grace's daughter from the Off-Campus series, is getting her own story as well. I'm intrigued at who her love interest is going to be. So yeah, 3.5 star for this one. And then finally we have Wild Side by Elsie Silver. Now I always feel like with Elsie Silver books, her books are just such quick and easy books to read. Every single book in this series are single dad romances. The FMC in this one, what is her name? What's her name? I forgot her name. Tabitha. There we go. Tabitha's sister dies of an overdose, which you find out in the second book. In Tabitha's will, it said that her son's legal guardian will be Reese, who is the MMC in this book, who was her landlord. Reese is not a US citizen, so he wants to kind of move away, and then Reese was told stories about Tabitha that weren't true, so it's kind of like a hate to love situation at the beginning of this book. Ends up being a marriage convenience situation. So then when Reese is away because he is a wrestler, Tabitha can go ahead and look after the kid. So it kind of goes from there. This one I did enjoy. I gave it a 3.75 star. It isn't my favourite in the series. Wild Eyes is still my favourite, but it's my second favourite. Tabitha is quite like a strong female main character. Reese is very down bad. He's inspired by Roman Reigns as well. He is a wrestler. That might give you guys the ick. Didn't give me the ick. So I guess mine 3.75. I did have a fun time with it. Got through it quickly, and I was not bored once. So enjoyed it. So those are all the books I want to talk about in today's video. I really hope you did enjoy. I might end up doing these videos every few months and kind of sit down and talk about all the new releases that have came out recently. So if you do want to see more of these type of videos, then please let me know in the comments down below. Let me know your favourite new releases that have came out this year, as well as your like disappointing new releases. But yeah, really hope you did enjoy, and I'll see you guys in a brand new video. Bye guys!